Hello and welcome back to, I have a problem when it comes to impulse control and books, and I went to the library. So we're gonna just kind of go through the books I got, because why not? So the first thing I got is Amity and Prosperity, which I'm actually drawing books from a jar this year to pick books off my TBR that I wouldn't necessarily pick up otherwise. And so I was actually halfway through this book. So like, as you can see, I'm more than halfway through. And that's a book I was already reading, but I had to recheck it out. So I also have The Sun and the Star, which I am also more than halfway through. Those are my two books that I've been cycling through. I bought Paper Towns it was supposed to be $1, but they gave it to me for free because their system was broken. So free John Green book. That I've already read that, so I don't actually need to read that. And while I was there looking for the next book, I found this book. I liked What Is in the Woods, What Lies in the something about the Woods by Tana French. That was like Irish detective fiction, really dark noir vibes, and this looked to be semi-similar, and I really liked her writing, so I got this one. The reason I went to that library, because I went to 2 libraries, and then The Sun and the Stars from a 3rd library, so this is a total of 3 libraries. But the reason I went to that library where I got The Searcher is I was looking for this book, because I read Caraval before and I really liked it, so I have the second one. And then from the first library I went to today, I got Shatter, which is the second book in the Glitter duology, because I really liked Glitter and I wanted to, I wanted to know what happened after the cliffhanger that the first book ended on. Then again at the first library, I got the 3rd book in the Caraval's trilogy. So just, yeah. This is Everyone Dies in a Small Town. This is like an anthology of people in different towns in Alaska and the Midwest, I think it is. I'm interested in anthology collections, so I grabbed that. This is A Good Idea. It is about a town with dark secrets. Basically, if you say town had dark secrets or like uncovered some dark history or something secret about the past, like if there are dark secrets in a town, I will check out the book. I don't care about any of the rest of the plot. I will check out that book. I have no impulse control when it comes to that. This is Dead Girls of Hysteria Hall, which is by Katie Allender, who is a horror romance author that I really enjoy. I loved her book, The Companion, Famous Last Words. There was another one too that was really good, so I went to the library and found this one, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's another one, awesome. This is called Time Will Tell. It's another secrets from the past coming back to haunt the modern day. Again, I will check out any book that says that. This is from the Notebooks of Melanin Sun. It's by Jacqueline Woodson. She's an author that I really liked. I loved Brown Girl Dreaming. I loved Another Brooklyn. So I saw that there was another little short collection from her, or short book from her, and I was like, gotta read that. This is House on the Cerulean Sea, which was an impulse grab last minute. But I've been told it's really good, so we're gonna give it a read. Yeah, and finally, I'm getting more, by the way. I'm getting 3 more books this week that I will probably also include in this. So I'm reading How to Hide an Empire, which my mom has really recommended, so I'm reading it from her. I'm getting, I don't even remember what the other book is that I asked my brother to check out for me, but it's that one. I think it's another crime fiction. I've discovered I really like crime fiction. I'm in a really big crime fiction phase, so that's that. And then Edenville, which is a horror novel. So those are the other 3 that I'm getting. And then this is The Vacation, which is a mystery thriller where a group of people go on vacation, but they all have a reason to be hiding from some past crime. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something similar to And Then There Were None retelling, and I will read that plot over and over and over and over again. So a lot of these books are in the same general vein of crime fiction. I do really enjoy crime fiction, which I discovered from my last haul. So I'm hoping to kind of continue on that. And then The Sun and the Star is the final book in my Percy Jackson reread. I skipped Charles Apollo though, because once was enough. I love the Percy Jackson characters, but Apollo can trip into Tartarus. So that sounds terrible. He has character development, but the first couple of books were rough. And then, yeah, I have some nonfiction in there, but most of it is in the same vein of crime fiction. And I'm really looking forward to reading it. Do I have time? Absolutely not. I'm also trying to read Rousseau for class. Thumbs down on him. I really don't like I don't like him. But these books will make me more inspired to read, and yeah. So I will let you know when I finished one of these books. Hi, so we have a little bit of a double whammy. It's gonna be kind of awkward because I am actually reviewing this twice because it's part of a challenge I'm doing with myself about the book jar, but it's also part of this library haul because I'm getting it at the same time. Finished this today. So good, phenomenal. I love the way it painted this massive corruption by just focusing on one person. It's heartbreaking, it's real. I usually hate nonfiction, but I blew through this one. It was so engaging and personal and beautiful, and I loved it so much, and I definitely recommend it. So good. Then I finished this book as well. I love this universe more than life itself. I love these characters more than life itself. This is The Sun and the Star by Rick Riordan and Marcus Shero. This was Amity and Prosperity by Eliza Griswold, by the way. I don't think I said that, but Sun and the Star, Rick Riordan and Marcus Shero. I don't know if I'm saying, if I say any authors' names wrong, I'm so sorry. I love you guys. I'm bad at names. But anyway, I love these characters. And everything Riordan just, whether he writes or creates or like collaborate, it just shines. And this series is created with so much love and respect, and it never feels forced. And this book is no exception. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It's beautifully written. That being said, stop throwing my favorite couples in Tartarus. I will believe that they are a good couple if you don't do that. That being said, I really am kind of glad that they went to Tartarus, because it forced them to confront a lot of things that could have caused issues in their relationship, and it kind of examined trauma and its relationship to your relationships, and having some personal experience with both having issues in my past come up in relationships and also dating a person who is dealing with trauma. It is incredibly important that there are narratives for young people where they can see, here is how you handle that. Here is how you work with these things that are out of your control in order to make that person feel loved, while also keeping yourself safe and respecting yourself and learning with trauma how to love yourself. And I think that the way Riordan and the people that he collaborates with, the way they show mental health and the way they explain friendship and involve mental health and involve grief is so beautiful and so important. And I think that every young person should read it, because it is everything that you want in a book. It is funny, it is heartrending, it is beautifully written, it handles really hard topics in a really entertaining way. You still get that kick of fantasy even if you aren't a fantasy reader. It is escapism while also confronting things that are very important. I could talk about it all day, so I'm gonna stop, but I loved this book. And that concludes my Percy Jackson reread, and what a journey it was. I am so grateful to this series. This series has saved my life over and over again, and I will never stop being thankful to Rick Riordan. Honestly, it is a good year to be a Percy Jackson fan, and I am nothing if not that. So I'm gonna get on to picking my next book. That's the most exciting part, but I'm so grateful to have read these books. I definitely recommend you check out both of them. They're phenomenal. And that's gonna be me until I finish the next book. So peace out. All right, let's get into this book because I just finished it. I could not put it down. This is a Good Idea by Christina Maracho. It is so good. It's so good. I do think the plot is kind of just so. It didn't necessarily go in the direction I was expecting it to, and there were a couple of like minor plot holes that like things were brought up that were just not really ever mentioned again. But you don't notice that when you're in it. When you're in it, you're in it. And I think the best part of this book is the vibes. Like, immaculate, evenly applied. There's not a moment where the vibe changes. And I really appreciate that. It's really intense, really dark, really creepy, twisted. It leaves you feeling kind of gross. And I like that because usually you read a lot of books where it's like, everybody's happy, everybody's normal. Everybody in this is deeply messed up in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of ambiguity. And I think it just really works for this. I really enjoyed it, but yeah, horrible, wonderful vibes. Such an entertaining read. I definitely recommend it. I blew through it. It was so good. I can't wait to get on to the next one. Woo! Yay. This is like the highlight of my life right now, are these books, because my life is a hot mess right now. And this, chef kiss, really getting me through with this horrible escapism. It's escape into something worse, where it's like, at least this isn't me. But it's still really good though. I definitely recommend it. It's definitely, I found this in the YA set. This is not YA. This should not be YA. This has so much sexual content and like drug content. So this is definitely like young adult book. Like, it's more of an adult book than a teen book, I would say. That being said, it's very good. I would definitely recommend it. Hi, so somebody has a hold on this and I have to return it. And while it's like good, I think it might be a while before I check it out again, just because I have so many other books that were a lot more appealing to me. So I'm gonna let this one go. I might get it again in the future, but probably not soon. Not because it's bad, but because the other ones are better, if that makes sense. But yeah, I will be returning this. Hello, I forgot I was doing this. I just finished this book finally. Oh my gosh, I have not fallen into a book in a long time the same way I've fallen into this book. It's phenomenal. The writing is great. The characters are so real, and it's really dark and difficult and unsatisfying, but it's very realistic. And again, I haven't lost time to a book like I did to this one, so I definitely recommend this book. It's super good. I loved it. Hello and good morning. I forgot I was doing this. This is The Vacation by John Marrs. This is simultaneously the most engaging and the most infuriating book that I've read in a while. Let me explain that. So engaging, it had really short chapters, and almost every chapter would end with like a foreshadowing or like a cliffhanger line, and it would always make you want to read more. But the infuriating part was that the writing wasn't great. They had a lot of timeline jumps, which was done kind of sloppily. And there were too many characters to keep track of. Like, I think there were at least 10, and in a multi-POV book, in one book, it was too much. It was too much. I spent like half the book figuring out who everybody was, and then the ending was super rushed, and I was like, all of that for that ending? But I was always really engaged, so I would say it's a net neutral for me. This is definitely like a sit by the pool and read. Like if you don't care about knowing all the characters and you're just there for the drama, you will love this book. But for me, I like to kind of fall into a story, and I felt like I couldn't really fall into it completely because I didn't know who anybody was. Because with the short chapters, they would end with this cliffhanger, but then it wouldn't come back to it for 20 chapters. So you'd kind of forget about it. And then you'd be like, oh, this is which character? Oh, this is that plot line that I was really excited about. So it was kind of annoying, but I mean, I was invested. So I guess, yeah, net neutral. So, I finished this today, which is From the Notebooks of Melanin Sun by Jacqueline Munson. I liked it. I think it was well written. I didn't really love the story, so I kind of rate it net neutral because I liked the storytelling, but the story itself was not my favorite. So yeah. It's summertime, which means a lot more reading. So we just finished this book, Shatter by Aprilline Pike. I think that's how you say her name. This is the second book in a Glitter series, which there's just 2 right now. I don't know if there's more coming. I hope there's more coming. Oh my goodness. This world is so interesting, and this book is so much better than the first one. Like, the first one was really good, but this one was, oh, it was so fun. There was political intrigue, and I love, like, political drama, which is a new thing I've discovered about myself, but it had so much political drama. It had just normal drama. It had, like, interesting character dynamics, and, of course, it had making tougher and tougher decisions to the point where it makes you question whether they're the hero or the villain. Ah, so good. It's so good. It was so entertaining. I feel like it was a really quick read. Like, I just wanted to read it all in one sitting. I just had a really good time reading it. I definitely recommend it. It's super good. Same day update, we're quitting Time Will Tell by Barry Lyga because the dialogue sounds like it was written by a 50-year-old man, and these are supposed to be teenagers. And I just can't get past it. I'm not enjoying the plot enough to get over just the really crappy writing, so we're quitting. Hi, so I just finished reading Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock, which is an anthology of short stories that are connected sometimes in big ways and sometimes in small ways. It's definitely very young adult as far as the writing, and there are definitely some filler stories in there that, like, you don't care about as much. But on the whole, this was a really, really, really good book. It created the feeling that I tend to seek out in books, which is just like societal unease and at points disgust. I don't know why I seek that out in books, but I think for me, it's just interesting to see how writing and both what you choose to focus on and how you choose to focus on it can inspire this feeling, like this kind of icky, gross feeling. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's a super short read. It's only like 200 pages. I would definitely recommend giving it a read. I had never heard of this book before. I just picked it up on a whim because I do like these kind of short story anthologies, and I was glad I picked this one up because it was really interesting. It was a good read. Update, I've decided to quit this book and thus the final book in the trilogy just because I don't really want to read them, and I'd rather read the other 3 books in the haul, and they're due this weekend, and I'm gonna have to recheck them, and I'm just like, if I can just finish these books, then I don't have to recheck them, and that would be ideal. So I'm just not gonna read them. Hi, so I just finished Dead Girls of Asteria Hall by Katie Allender, which is really good. Not what I was expecting, but very bingeable. I just sat and like read it for like an hour yesterday. It was super great. I really enjoyed it. I would definitely give it a read. It's good. So I know that these next couple of books are not from that original video of like, here's everything I'm going to read, but I got them in the same cycle, so they're being included, mostly because I want to talk about this book, House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. It was so good. At first I thought it was kind of like a cliche mystery, very similar to other things I've read and watched before, but then the twist hit and I sat down and finished the entire book in one sitting because it was so good and so crazy. I was like, it was so good. You should definitely read it. Hi, so I finished Edenville by Sam Rebelline. I don't know how to say it. I didn't like this one. It took a Lovecraftian turn that I didn't expect or like. I don't like sci-fi horror. I find that it kind of falls into the same category that a lot of Lovecraft does, which is cool concept, kind of sloppy execution. There were too many characters and there were so many different POVs and timeline. They made it multiverse and it was just so confusing. And so I felt like this was kind of a waste of time. It took me a long time to get through it and I just didn't enjoy it very much. So they can't all be winners, right? I'm sad though, because I was really looking forward to this one. Whatever. All right, so I just finished All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. I loved it. It was so engaging, so fun, so twisty. It was such a relief to want to read after Edenville, but I just blew through this book. I definitely recommend it. It's so good. It was so entertaining. I loved it so much. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of this video. I think I'm gonna try to focus on the books that I own next, because I have a pretty solid stack of them before I go get another library haul. And even then I might not take you along with me, but I had a good time. I read some good books. I read some not so good books. Thanks for coming along with me. Hopefully maybe you got a recommendation out of this. So yeah, see you later.